to it. We got some comments here for the Gridiron 360, specifically talking about the Tennessee Titans.
Is this 6? This is comment ball 6.0, I think.
It is 6.0. We got 2 comments on this one. They're the same concept, and we got a little egg on the face. But we want to give a little shout out to handle. Let's see. We got Christopher Conway and Jeffrey Freeman both saying the same thing because they caught us on our slip up. So Christopher Conway said, "Hey man, I really appreciate this video, but the emphasis on Conklin being the best O-lineman is just not right with Lewan on the left side, and the fact that Conklin, while being a beast in the run game, was certainly weak in the pass blocking." Jeffrey Freeman was a little bit more direct with us. Conklin, best O-line? Are you insane? The guy is good, but Lewan mops the floor with him.
I was the one that said it.
You're right. You're right.
It
was a slip. It was a quick comment.
Again, we said it in a couple of these other comment broadcasts. You know, we ripped through about 4 or 5 days, ripped through every team's free agency. I didn't forget they had Tyler Lewan. It just slipped my mind, and he is good. And actually, the comments you made are exactly right. In fact, my friends, I went and watched a couple of the. If anybody doesn't know, because of the coronavirus, NFL is offering Game Pass for free right now, so you can go back and watch footage, full game, condensed version,
and even one that's kind of breaks down film.
Yeah. So I watched some of them, and you're exactly right with your comment in terms of Conklin being better in the run than the pass, because yes, he did have some struggles when he's a tall guy. So I mean, when he stood up, his leverage to pass block and someone came at him, he lost leverage sometimes. Just kind of fall in suit with your comment. Whereas I didn't see him struggle as much in the run game. You did have Derrick Henry, and you did have a guy, like you said, Tyler Lewan, who is complete badass, a definite win in the draft column when you picked that guy up. So, you had some solid production on that line, not just from you. You had other guys that you could lean on, and that's a great thing.
Yeah, and kind of you made a comment about his pass blocking. This is kind of old school, traditional thinking on the offensive line. Generally speaking, your right tackle is more of your road grader, run blocking tackle, while your left tackle is your blind side protection. Obviously that does change when you get a southpaw quarterback, but most of the quarterbacks in the league are right-handed, so that makes sense. And one of the things I did mention, and it turns out that's true, I can't say I knew a lot about Dennis Kelly, but I said in the cast that you never know that they might have somebody already in the wings on their team.
You said exactly that, and what happened?
And they agreed to terms on a deal with him at $21 million, $8.75 million guaranteed for 3 years.
So they see something.
My guess is I didn't look at the depth chart, so if I'm wrong, you can hit me again for being wrong, but I don't think so. That sounds like starting money, so I think that's going to be your replacement.
He is listed right now on the depth chart on our lads as the starting right tackle with Quisenberry behind him. That wasn't case before when we cut the cast, because they still had Conklin in there in red. I think that he was a free agent.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to
Roger
see.
Saffold, you got Big Ben Jones at Alabama, you got Taylor Lewan. I think I said Tyler Lewan. I thought it was.
I thought I said Taylor. I thought
you did. I said Tyler. I thought it was. Anyways, you got him. Nate Davis is the only guy at right guard. You might need some. I mean, you don't have, based on the depth chart that I see, anyone past the Lewan or Nate Davis at right guard in terms of depth, second string. And in the left guard, right tackle position, there's basically one guy behind in the depth chart. So you might be looking to pick up another guy you could slide
a swing player or something like that. But this is a team.
And I'm sure a lot of these guys are too, that if they had to, they could swing.
Absolutely. And when we talked about this, we had we have really high opinions on Tennessee and what Tennessee's doing. Certainly when Tannehill took over, they found another gear offensively. We believe they've got some young guys that are still, while playing well, are still developing and can become stronger. Particularly
one of the
with
best moves
AJ
in free
Brown
agency was doing your deal for Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, and I like that they were committed and did it fast. Now, obviously, it's all going to be on can Tannehill continue kind of the rebirth of his career. But we talked a lot about how, he was in a really tough situation in Miami, had some injuries along the way.
He was a decent quarterback, man.
Yeah, there was no.
I didn't look at him
No,
like
not at all.
God, that would be awful.
Yeah,
to have that guy.
exactly. And I think he showed it. And if he stays healthy, I said it last year. You said it last year within the playoffs. If there's one team at the bottom of the playoff window that I don't want to play, it was Tennessee. And look at what they did. I mean, knocked off the Super Bowl champs.
I mean, can you say that they sent Tom Brady packing from New England?
I think they did. I think Bill had a little part of that, but they definitely
Jimmy Christmas. It
Yep.
didn't. It's been a long time since they've not made it past the first round.
Yeah.
So most of the time they've had that bye, so they haven't played it. But they come into a wild card game, no less, and not even a divisional game or a conference game or a conference game, and in their own home, ex-linebacker head coach, takes care of business, and now Tom Brady's a Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
Absolutely. And then on top of that,
how do you feel about that, Christopher and Jeffrey?
You got to be feeling pretty good there in Las Vegas.
That was you're the last team Brady faced as a New England Patriot.
Yep.
And you beat him, and he's now a Tampa Bay Buck.
And go up and look at the records of former coaches of Belichick that have beaten him. It's not a very long list. Yeah, it's not a good list. And then and not only that, then you go into Baltimore and take on the best team in the NFL record-wise.
Was very,
and took them to Chinatown.
Good for Ryan Tannehill. Good for Derrick Henry. Good for Mike Vrabel. Good for the Tennessee Titans. I mean, good pick this past year in A.J. Brown. I think even mentioned in the free agency cast, we talked about him in our college cast year prior when we were talking draft stuff, and Metcalf produced in Seattle. But I always felt like if I had my choice, because the boards were saying that Metcalf was, in terms of ranking wise, was probably the one to go for ahead of Brown. And I always felt that Brown. I mean, if I had my druthers for the Giants, I would have went Brown. So this team.
Yeah, and
I don't know.
Remember that 40 time for Metcalf also kind of got him a big bump. I think people started, seeing that. But I think if you looked at game tape,
he did well too. But I think A.J. Brown and for the future, what you have in a guy like that, I think I again said it back then. He is like Anquan Bolden to me. He is a big friggin' dude at wide receiver. And I'm not just talking some tall, lanky guy. That's Metcalf. This guy's the tall guy. He's not the tallest, but he is a brick shit house. Yep. And, so you want that. I mean, he's done good things. And again, Clemson guy, love Vic Beasley. Don't know about it is a prove-it deal, but I know you pay a lot for edge rushers, and under 10 is not
I think it's a low-risk move.
I don't know, and I know you can't hold on to a guy like Justin Simmons sometimes. These big, profile players are hard to re-sign. But again, I think what you did for Tannehill is going to mean more to this team than the money itself.
Yep.
What it's going to do for him as the player, the quarterback, the leader, the confidence,
continuity for the team, everything, everything.
Dude. After were muddled, we even went to the one Falcon game we went to was
Tennessee.
Beat their ass, and Mariota played that game, and they still beat their ass. And Mariota.
I'm kind of disappointed Tannehill wasn't there.
Yeah, man. Tannehill is.
We had great seats, too.
Listen, man. Yeah, we did. We were on the field.
Yeah.
We were on the field for part of it. Look, if we could be talking about a guy, and I could totally see it in Ryan Tannehill. I was actually thinking about this, just not due to these comments, but this is a guy that 5 years from now could be one of the next greatest things at the quarterback level in the NFL. He could be talked about as one of the best out there at the position.
Yep. Yeah.
He could be.
Yeah. Yeah. And what I like is he plays within himself. He plays within what the offense has. We talked about it here. I think going to getting that secondary running back, and we talked a lot about the second, third round backs that are going to be out there.
Yep.
And this is not to say bye-bye Derrick Henry, because love me some Derrick Henry.
Yeah, they tagged him and they'll get the deal done. But, the guy that spelled him was Dion Lewis, and he did very little.
But it's frightening to think if this team could get another running back that is super talented.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just pounding the ball and how that's going to open up the field. I could certainly look at them looking for a little bit more of a stretcher on the wide receiver front. They didn't, as of yet, I know of, do anything at tight end.
No.
So that might be something interesting to keep an eye on.
Jonnu Smith's career excelled much more. You saw flashes of him when Mariota was there. He was more consistent for them. And then you even see these other guys like Ferkser, who, they're scoring touchdowns in postseason games. They're becoming a factor.
Yep.
Maybe not the prime time, but I don't know, man. I mean, like in the draft, they may go. I think they're going to probably try to do more on the defense again.
Yep.
Vrabel's a defensive guy, maybe defensive line, maybe something out in
maybe
the
the
secondary.
corner,
But they could put something else at offensive line, as we said, from a depth and building it for the future. And who knows, you may find somebody great. But this, with the way the AFC South is right now, okay, we know Jacksonville, I think, is still, trying to reinvent itself. Indianapolis, now Phillip Rivers. I don't
see what he has left in the tank.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're going to try to. They're definitely not trying to rebuild it. With a guy at that age, they're trying to win now, but I don't know if that'll get done. They still need a lot. Good coach though, and a lot of room, but
and then you got Houston. No,
that
nobody
was Houston. I was like, that's the team that is going to challenge you the most until what they've done in free agency. And I hate to say that
haven't done
that one move could seriously crush them. Like I think that we were talking about it, and I don't think it might, but I think it might.
Yeah, that to me,
And it goes deeper than that if there is an issue, on the back end from coaching, which we don't know. It's all speculation. There's, the media loves to spout out stuff. I try not to buy too much into it and just derive what I think is an objective perspective on it. But anyways, Tennessee, you're going to places.
Christopher Jeffrey, you got to be happy. And
we're
happy for
man.
you. We like the team. It's a fun team to watch.
We've said it in these other ones. Call us out on our chat. All right, we want it. We need your help. We want your interaction. We hope that us directly addressing you, brings a little grin to your face. Share it with your friends. We're not, Ian Rappaport and Schefter here. We're not to that level, but maybe one day. And we don't forget where we came from. Won't do it. Dave, I think we have one more piece of comment ball on another cast, and then unless more come up, we're going to probably try to move forward on some talk about the draft and such. But hey, Dave, we'll see you next time. Where?
On the gridiron.
See ya!